Today marks 2 months that I've been going to ketamine treatment, 3 months since I've been going to yoga and rock climbing every morning, and I guess about 2 months that I've been in improv classes. So these are three very important communities for me. Prior to finding these communities, I was feeling very lost, very hopeless, just isolated. I was yearning for community. And honestly, I would do anything to just like get a little bit of it. Even if I didn't even like to be in certain places, I would just want to go just because I wanted and yearned for community so bad. One thing I didn't realize until today is that I found community in all of these spaces. And it, it, it surprised me for some reason. When I first started going to yoga and when I first started going to my ketamine treatments and improv class, I was deeply, deeply, severely depressed. And I just didn't get any joy or feeling of gratitude being in these spaces at all, even though they were exactly the spaces I needed and exactly the type of things I love to do. I couldn't feel that. I think it's called anhedonia, where you just lack joy. And that's exactly what I was feeling. And I know it sounds kind of crazy to say ketamine is a community for me, but the doctor's office I go to has that feeling of community for me. Um, and I didn't recognize it until this moment, like literally today during my session. Because I was looking just for anything to hang on to, I was just looking for something to distract me from the state of despair that I was in when I was in my depression. And so every morning I would go to yoga, and it was just, it was about not having a worse day. It was about something I learned in therapy called behavioral activation, where you don't do what the depression is telling you to do. You activate yourself and you shower or brush your teeth or do things that you normally would value, even though your depression is telling you that it doesn't matter and that you don't like it. And so I did my behavioral activation and I went to yoga every morning at 8:30, and honestly I would lay down on the ground during our shavasana at the beginning of class, and I would just be thinking all these horrible thoughts like, I don't really want to be here. I hate this. My body is so fat. My body is so ugly. I can't do certain moves. I'm not as powerful or strong. Just a lot of mean things to myself. And I just kept, I, I, I kept at it, regardless of the fact that mm, this depression was telling me that what I was doing didn't matter and I didn't get any joy out of it and I hated it. And I did it for 3 months. And back to the ketamine treatment, a lot of people state that their first experience of ketamine is euphoric. They state that their depression is cured like overnight. And that did not happen for me. In fact, my first session with ketamine was a very scary experience. It was very isolating. I felt very alone. Literally, I felt like that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward is like, alone, 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 in that white room. It was just, it was a weird, disorienting feeling for me, and I never experienced it before. So I just couldn't understand how could anyone actually like ketamine. And I did not want to go back. I was literally having anxiety about going back to do the ketamine treatments. And this when I say ketamine treatments, I mean it is a treatment for treatment resistant depression. people go into a medical office with medical doctors and they're administered either intravenously or nasally uh, ketamine, which is used for um, anesthesia. So that's what's used when you like go down for surgery and those sorts of things. Um, so it has been, clinically proven to treat treatment resistant depression. And treatment resistant depression is essentially depression that doesn't respond to therapy well and it doesn't respond to other medications well. And so ketamine is like kind of like the last option. So instead of it being a miraculous like recovery for me, it took me the whole induction period, which I think is about 8 weeks, and I still didn't feel better at the end of the induction period because my depression actually lifted. Like the fog of depression was lifting. Like I had this pain in my chest from depression, and it was like a dull, like persistent pain. And it changed to a sharp pain in my back because when the depression lifted, it revealed my OCD and my anxiety. And so the induction period for ketamine actually didn't even like feel like it helped me, even though it helped me a lot with my depression. So I had to figure out how to treat my OCD. And that's another space of community for me is with my therapists. And I found a really great OCD therapist who just understands OCD on a level that I think all OCD therapists should understand. Like, OCD likes to bullshit people and likes to convince people um, to not do things. And when I say people, I mean me, but also it'll convince my therapist to not push me hard enough if the therapist doesn't know the bullshit of OCD. But this therapist is really great. And one drug that really works for my OCD, my like intrusive thoughts and that anxiety, is clomipramine. So I started back on my therapeutic dose of clomipramine working with my psychiatrist. And after taking clomipramine for about a week and getting to my therapist, my therapeutic dose, last Wednesday was the first day after 3 months and an entire 3 months and a week that I actually felt like myself. I didn't feel depressed. I didn't feel OCD. I felt like me. The most important community of all of these has been uh, being around people in spaces like yoga and improv and rock climbing. And being in these spaces has allowed me to be around people who are enthusiastic about things. The improv community that I found, I am so thankful for the Brooklyn Comedy Collective, or BCC, and the people that I found in my classes, and my husband who's also in these classes with me. I just feel so exhilarated and excited about acting again. And I haven't felt this way in a very long time about acting. And I'm even a lighting designer for my improv teacher's play production that she's putting on. So it's just like my dreams are, I'm living my dreams right now through that community. Me and my husband started an improv group with a lot of the people from my improv one class, and I'm just so excited to work with them because they're so talented and they all have such good energy. And yeah, I'm just super excited about that. And yoga makes me feel so empowered and strong, and I love my teachers and the people in my classes. With my yoga class, it's amazing the way my body has changed and my feelings towards my body and my relationship with my body has changed. I went from really hating my body and hating myself. And, it wasn't me who hated me. It was the depression who hated me. It was the depression who was telling me all these mean things about my body and myself. But being able to consistently go to yoga really made a lot of gains that I was not expecting to have been made at all. The first time I did a headstand in yoga, I felt so empowered and strong. I was like, I love my fat body. I love who I am. Like, I am so strong. And it doesn't matter whether or not I'm like this idea of perfection or a model or any of those sorts of things, because what my body can do for me is pretty amazing. And what my mind can do for me is pretty amazing. And I can do for me amazing things, you know? And so yoga just really taught me how to be in my body and how to appreciate my body. And the people that I've met in the community, like other people who come to class who are also really powerful and also very loving about body positivity and accepting of different body abilities and how your body changes. Your body's going to change as you go through life. And so being accepting of those changes is very important. And yeah, that yoga community has just uplifted and turned around my relationship with me and myself and my body. And I love that. If you made it all the way to the end of this literally like 11-minute video, oh my gosh, thank you for watching. And tell me, if this resonates with you.